the last time I was behind the wheel of a Jaguar XF, Lindsay had set what I thought to be an impossible challenge, to drive from the Union Buildings to Durban and back on a single tank of fuel.
A round trip of 1,260 kilometres with a smidge under 70 litres of fuel at your disposal makes for a tall order in anyone's book. In the end, Marius and the XF arrived back at the Union Buildings with fuel to spare, averaging just more than 5 litres per 100 kilometres for the entire journey.
But with the launch of the all-new Jaguar XF, I thought I'd give Lindsay a more realistic real-world challenge. Well, Lindsay, I at least gave you a nicer challenge, a more realistic challenge. How did you do?
Well, I have a little confession to make.
Here we go.
So, the press release on the Jaguar XF talks about all the new technology in this car. And in fact, there's so much new technology in it that I couldn't find a way to reset the eco data.
This isn't a competition, so you can be honest.
It's always a competition with you, Maurice.
No. So what, you didn't get results, or you're fudging results,
No.
or what?
So the cool thing is that on this brand new nifty touchscreen that they have here, they've got a thing called eco data. And you can go in there and you can have a look at your last 3 trips, data for your last 3 trips, and you can look at your current trip, and then there's also best trip ever. And somebody on this car has 3.7, which is excellent and very near to what you got.
Yeah, we were running similar, but I mean that again was full highway only. So we obviously had a good run at doing not a combined cycle. But what were you getting? That's what's important here.
Okay, so my figure was 11.
But that's fully urban.
So that was to and from the shops, to and from work, and I was just driving as I would normally drive. I didn't try particularly hard.
So that's important. I mean, you're not losing at this. I didn't ask you to drive efficiently. I just asked you to drive normally.
With you,
It's never. So I mean, I just asked you to drive normally because the figures that manufacturers give us are really hard to reproduce in a real world environment. So that's an interesting figure. Their claim figure was
4.3 litres
combined.
per 100 combined.
So it's probably about 6, I would imagine, on an urban 6 or 7 on an urban cycle.
Yeah, but you know, it's kind of a difficult car to drive conservatively in an urban environment. It feels and it looks like it wants to go.
New XF, the most important talking point is a brand new engine, the Ingenium range of engines. They're going to be bringing it to the petrol models, but for now the only engine in the market is the 2-litre turbo diesel.
Yeah.
132 kilowatts, 340 newton meters,
yeah.
So it's got good figures.
It does have good figures, a little bit disappointing robot to robot, I must say. Don't expect that you're going to be beating people in the dash, but it is a superb cruiser.
Lindsay, it's actually the XE that has given the XF a lifeline. Suddenly this car knows exactly where it fits into the segment and which market it's trying to appeal to.
Yes, and people need to bear that in mind because the XE is the sporty car and this is the more luxurious premium car. So you don't want to be expecting that sporty drive from the XF. Which is not to say it's not sporty.
Yeah, but I just think for too long it was trying to target a 3 Series A4 market and trying to appeal to the 5 Series, whereas now it kind of knows this is its role. They've got the R Sport line, which is more cosmetic and trim, but for me this car is fantastic to drive if you appreciate the fact that you're driving a luxurious upmarket executive saloon. In the old days, XF was trying to appeal to the sportier, smaller compact sedans like the 3 Series. Now it knows it's going up against 5 Series, it's going up against E-Class, and that's where it really excels because it's got fantastic space, amazing interior that they've improved. It's a really comfortable car to drive on the road. That's its strength.
Absolutely. The one thing about this car that maybe sets it apart from the rest is that ride quality, the absolute sublime nature of how it just like cruises over the road. It's beautiful.
But I do hear your point about like you wanting to go, and I was amped because of the new Ingenium engine. I wasn't disappointed about the ultimate performance. It was just about the turbo lag that I found. I don't know if that's a combination of the engine and the gearbox, and I can't remember what the old diesel was like because we were doing an economy run, so we were trying to drive efficiently. But even in this, just trying to pull away sedately, it's kind of all or nothing.
Exactly.
It doesn't quite know where it wants to be, and then it goes.
Do you see my challenge with the eco driving?
Yeah, it's a tough nut to crack. But I suppose we look at it now from a technology point of view. I think they need to not market XF as a...
Absolutely. I mean, I looked through the press release where they were waxing on about the technology, and I was like, okay, seen that, so-and-so's got that, so-and-so's got that. Seen it all before.
But to be fair, a lot of that technology was stuff that wasn't offered on the old XF. And if you look at all the manufacturers,
Sure.
most of the tech is the same. It's just getting refined better and better. And you look at E-Class, I mean, that is their selling point.
Yeah.
Is that they bring all the tech,
Yeah.
but none of that standard, so you are paying for it. And I think that's what's interesting. I mean, as media, geez, like Jaguar got lambasted when XE came out on price.
They did.
Because people go, oh, it's so expensive. But if you look at XF, this car is cheaper than E-Class, cheaper than 5 at base.
Yeah, you can get this car, the diesel that we're driving, for 743 is the starting point, and a higher spec model you can get for 880,000. Which
That's top spec with everything in.
Exactly.
Now, Merc is starting at 750, and we know the extra list, once you start adding in that tech, you're probably going to push close to $1 million. So it's funny that people nail them about that. So who buys this car? How do we wrap this up? What is the
Well,
strength?
I know you're a Jaguar man. So what are you going to pick?
It's not that I'm a Jaguar man, I'm a logical guy. So I look at it and I think this car for me is a better drive. In terms of if I'm buying a luxury saloon, it needs to be comfortable on the road. I'm not buying it from a sporty perspective, and that's a strength. Space, quality of ride.
Agreed. But if you want a sportier ride, go with the Germans.